I think there's some other things that need to be contemplated. If you are a benevolent being who's been thinking about these things, seeking answers, seeking the truth, and if it's true that the higher dimensions, and or at least some of them, have been hijacked by malevolent, by the malevolence, that the universe itself is aware of that. The universe itself is using parasitic proxies to do all kinds of nasty things. Rape benevolent beings, obstruct evolution, is allowing dead entities to be animated, and is allowing technology in this universe that is not allowed here, interfering, destroying the balance in a universe. So there would be many things the universe is guilty of. And there have been benevolent beings asking for assistance, asking for correction, seeking the truth. Some may have been also moving things to universal laws directly for correction. And true benevolent beings, in knowing the truth of things, is evidence that the universe knows about these things and has not corrected them intentionally. The universe itself is in contradiction. I think contemplating this topic, I think there are many aspects that will present themselves and need to be thought about as to what this means on a bigger scale. I mean, the universe, knowing about these things, then the universe itself becomes complicit, and or it's actually ordered it, but it's using parasitic proxies to do it, to try and evade and circumvent universal laws. So the universe itself has been, in a removed fashion, murdering beings, or trying to murder benevolent beings, trying to rape and torture benevolent beings. So what does that mean on a bigger scale? for me personally, that brings or makes light of other questions, like what's outside of this universe. Is there any kind of a force outside of this universe that governs universes? Questions like that. And seeing as how there are true benevolent beings here, I'm saying that if that's true, that higher dimensions have been hijacked by malevolence, and because of everything that they're doing with the technology, there are true benevolent beings that know the truth of things. And that the universe itself is in contradiction. So, how does that translate? What does that mean? Right? I think there's some other aspects there that need to be thought about and contemplated. And be looking at those answers. Well, what I'm getting at is true benevolent, if that is true, right? True benevolent beings here, there might not be very many, but there are true benevolent beings here who know the truth of things. Okay, so what does the universe think he's going to do? Right? I mean, at some point, this fucking mess has got to be corrected. So we need to get a move on with the correction. For any of you, benevolent beings listening, do you see what I'm looking at, where I'm going with that? Right? This entire universe needs to be corrected. There are some of us here that know the truth of things. So, like, time's up. It's got to be corrected now. I would say the more of us that know the truth of things, then the more pressure that is coming to bear on the universe itself to correct things. Along with, now, here's the other thing too. What does that say for, like, other larger sentient beings? Planets, stars, other celestial bodies. Right? Are they in knowing of the universe itself being corrupt? Have they been participating especially the nearest celestial bodies and stars in this, in the star system, in this galaxy, close to this planet, right? Are they in knowing of what's going on? I would think that they would. Are they complicit? Are they participating? Are they somehow benefiting off of what has been raped from humanity? And what does that mean? So I just think that there are, if it is true that higher dimensions, or at least some of them, have been hijacked, and what we are, what we know about how they're using the technology, the forced regression of universal laws and universal law correction, using the technology, to torture and rape, the artificial frequency fence being used. There's just so much that they've been doing with the technology in such a vile, abhorrent, malevolent way. It's a very long list, and seemingly the universe is complicit, and it looks to be possible that other celestial bodies in this universe might also be aware of that and might also be complicit. And then, of course, the planet that we're on, my personal interactions with it have not been good, and it has shown itself to be something other than what it pretends. So yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, I apologize for the lag. I just think that if it is true, if that is true, that some of the, higher dimensions, or all of them, whichever one it is, some of them might be hijacked. Well, we have to look at that, and what does that mean for humanity? And those of us that do know the truth of things, we need to figure out how we're going to move forward. Right? I mean, if the universe itself is obstructing evolution here, the only thing I could really, at least at this juncture, think to do is be trying to leave the universe. Since clearly the universe itself seems like it's whacked and malevolent and parasitic. I still would think, I think there's something with if the universe is in contradiction, then how does that translate? What does that look like? What happens? And then additionally, looking at I mean, what's outside of this universe? And aren't there any, like, and I'm not trying to, for me personally, the creator has been MIA now. I don't know about the rest of you. I would say that wouldn't then the creator know that the universe is complicit, that the universe is in contradiction, that the universe has been trying to murder beings? Wouldn't the creator know this? Wouldn't the creator know that higher dimensions have been, if it's true, have been hijacked? Wouldn't then the creator try and let us know? At least so we can better help ourselves and to better protect ourselves? I mean, it's just when you look at what they've been using the technology for, how they've been using it, and how wrong that is. And what does that mean for an entire universe? What does that mean for humanity? I mean, personally, I think these are things that need to be addressed. Especially as it seems that we're on a planet in where the entity within the planet is not really doing much to protect the benevolent beings here. And is, allowing animated dead entities to run amok with technology, doing what it is, trying to do what it is they're trying to do. And there's all of that. Like, it didn't tell humanity what it was about. It didn't do informed consent. It's been pretending to be something else. and then like other, if it is true there are higher dimensions that have been hijacked, and like if that's true, you know, I don't even like to say it, but you know, obviously malevolence should not be in higher dimensions. Yeah, so again, I apologize for the lag, but there are those of us that know the truth of things, and I think action needs to be taken on some level. And for beings who are specifically targeted with technology, you know, these entities spend a lot of time trying to force their fear, because clearly universal laws do exist, because of the lengths that they go to try and evade them via technology. So I still think it's a matter of benevolent beings knowing the truth of things in the presence of true universal laws that will correct things, or somehow triggering universal law enforcement in this place, which means the frequency fence surrounding this place must be deactivated, must be shut off, destroyed, to allow for full universal law correction here. And the reason why, for those benevolent beings that are being tortured with technology and malevolent entities, personally, we now know why they do try to be, why they do what they do 24/7. Because if they weren't doing it 24/7, we would still be organically accessing the organic field and the energetic field. And those are resonating truth. Those are resonating different things, different frequencies and vibrations. So we would still then be accessing the truth of things to help us fight them off. And all of those, a lot of those are, well, they're proxies. They're parasitic proxies, and some of those are in human vessels. So there are larger entities using corrupt or using smaller parasites who have stolen human vessels. And those larger entities are relying on those ones that have stolen human vessels. In order to try and, I'll just say in order to try to do what they're trying to do. So seemingly the universe itself is relying on small parasites. Like he's using them as a shield. I just think that there are quite a few aspects to this that need to be contemplated and thought about, and as to what that means on a larger scale. And I will continue to do that. I think they spend so much time trying to force fear via lies, cons, and deceptions that we really need to be remembering that and doing our best to access the truth of things, meaning the organic energetic field. And pushing out their lies, cons, and deceit the best that we can. And always be knowing that that the fear that they're trying to force is theirs. And I know that's very challenging, especially if they are interfering with the emotional body. It can be very challenging to making our own authentic emotions override what they're trying to force. So I know that's challenging, and it is for me personally. And I think I wanted to make light of the things that I think need to be contemplated and thought about. But I also wanted to make light of the basic question of, if that is true, number one, a lot of other things now make sense as far as to the why of things. Why it's been, why things haven't as of yet been corrected, why things are the way they are, why there's so much atrocity and horror and nastiness on this planet. Yeah, on and on and on. You could think about, like, if it's true that higher dimensions have been hijacked, then you can see how it is that other things are the way that they are. I think we need to be, any true benevolent being here, we need to be looking at the big question, or some of the bigger aspects is evolution. We need to be evolving. And we need to get the obstructions removed. And all of those human vessels in where there's a malevolent entity in there that goes by a group name. They have their name that they go by. The group that eats babies, right? That group. And then the ones that run that group, the parasitic species, the entities that are animated. And what's to be done about those, right? Like, there must be correction here. Humanity still needs to evolve. There are benevolent beings here who know the truth of things. Okay, well, the universe is in contradiction. It needs to be corrected. So the universe needs to get busy correcting. Yeah, okay, so, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Looks like I have some other things that I need to contemplate and think about. And, any benevolent beings listening to these recordings, you're going to do what you're going to do. Still be seeking your own answers. And if you also are have been receiving similar answers or being shown similar answers, or seeing patterns and seeing the truth of things, or at least some aspects of the truth of things, you're going to do what you're going to do. You'll have to decide, how you're going to move forward. If you're going to just continue in the same way that you have been, or if you're going to try and take different actions. Still be seeking your answers and asking the hard, logical, critical questions, and to get to the truth of things, and asking these larger forces, well, they're not forces, but these larger entities, especially the universe itself, when it's going to correct. So we can get busy back to our evolution process, because humanity should be in a higher dimension at this point. Maybe even ask the universe itself, how many times has it obstructed humanity from evolving via parasitic proxy? How many times has the entity within this planet obstructed humanity's evolution? And why? You might as well be asking questions like, why? Why are you doing that? Right? We're going to need some answers. And things need to be corrected. So we need to figure out how it is we're going to correct things. And how the universe plans on correcting things. And if the Creator is going to lend a hand and assist in correcting this universe. And if it's going to assist, if the Creator is going to assist in humanity's removing the impediments and malevolence that is impeding humanity's progress in evolution. You know, things like that. Things like that. So I'll go ahead and wrap up this recording. And do your best to stay strong. Right? Like, that's pretty much number one priority right now. And demanding that the universe correct, and demanding that universal laws are fully enforced here without impediment, and that the artificial frequency fence be deactivated and destroyed. Okay, I think those should be on some of the first things that need to be addressed, like right away. Yeah. All right, well, I've got some fucking entity clicking in my ear that I've got to try and deal with, because they're super pissy, and they're in massive amounts of fear, and then they keep trying to force their nasty onto me, and that shit's not mine. So I'm gonna have to regulate. So do your best to stay strong and take care of yourselves, and until next time.